pa 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 ella, pa 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 ella.
Hello and welcome to Locally New England, a show that is committed to bringing you local lifestyle insights, marquee events, and business profiles. I'm Cheryl Nelson.
And I'm Joe Guarnieri. I'm so glad to be with you again, exploring the places and the people that make New England a great place to live.
This really is the best place in the country, especially in the summertime with the beaches and the water. This is where you want to be.
Beautiful. Can't beat it.
I know. We've got a great show coming up for you today as well. First up, we visit with Marshall Builders. Marshall Builders has been a staple in New England, providing best-in-class service and warranties. Check it out.
Marshall Building and Remodeling is a full-service home exterior remodeling company. We do roofing, siding, and windows for homeowners throughout Rhode Island and Massachusetts. My father, Tom, has always said, when it comes to Marshall, do a good job and do the right thing. And that's what we've been doing since 1983. It's what we still continue to do today, and it really guides everything. We feel like primarily that comes in the way of customer service.
We like to think a lot sets us apart from other companies in the remodeling industry. You can simply watch a quick video, get a license, throw a ladder on your truck, and become a contractor. The barrier to entry is pretty low. We've been doing business the same way for the last 41 years. We don't take any money down or take any money partway through. We get paid when the job's done and the homeowners are satisfied. It ensures that they're getting the project they want and they deserve, and it takes all the pressure off of them. Nobody can do business like that.
In this industry, it's rare for a company to stay in business longer than 10 years. Marshall's been doing this for over 40 years now, and really we've been able to stay and really thrive in our community because we do take care of people. So again, we like to say, before you're a customer, you're a neighbor, and that's really how we thrive, is through word of mouth, referrals, and just doing a good job one home at a time.
We're extremely customer focused. From the initial consultation, we sit down and we find out what's most important to the customer. And we try to deliver that through every touch point throughout the process. From our production team knowing exactly what that is to our field managers, we really want to make sure they get exactly what they expect throughout this process.
At Marshall, we are embracing technology. We help people envision their projects before they're done. We have 3D remodeling tools so you can see your home with different colors and products, and just really make sure you're going to love that end result. But at the same time, we're using the classic craftsmanship that we've always been known for, one project at a time. Take your time, get a project done to its completion, walk around, ensure quality with a homeowner, and make sure everybody's happy in the end.
We ultimately just really try to take care of people and do the right thing. We have a full-time customer support team that is constantly in touch with our customers so they always know what's going on, and dedicated field staff so they ultimately always feel like they're listened to and cared about, and we're right there for them. So it really is a full-service operation.
My dad started one neighborhood at a time, one homeowner at a time, really doing a good job and doing the right thing, and we still continue to do that today. And I find that the people who work for Marshall believe in that mission.
We have a saying at Marshall: before you're a customer, you're a neighbor. So ask your neighbors, friends, family, co-workers. Odds are one of them have done work with us or know somebody that has done work with us and has been satisfied. If not, you can always find us on the web at marshallbr.com or find us on social.
Coming up next on Locally New England, part 2 of our discussion of workers' compensation with attorney Stephen Dennis. Stay tuned. Locally New England is brought to you by Chariho Furniture, beautifully crafted American-made home furnishings. First Hyundai, North Attleboro. Save every day at First Hyundai. And Some Pump Geeks. We service all brands. Welcome back to Locally New England. We have the pleasure of being back in the studio with attorney Stephen Dennis to continue our discussion on workers' compensation. Thanks for being back with us. All right, so we're continuing the conversation about workers' comp. I know there's still a lot of questions surrounding this, and you were on our last show, and where we left off last time is I was going to ask about Mother Nature and workers' comp, because I know we see some snowstorms here, we get some ice occasionally. So what if somebody, let's say they get in an accident on their way to work? Now, is that workers' comp or not, if it's snow and icy roads?
It's not workers' comp.
It's not?
But unless you were called in from work on a mission to go somewhere else, and you were on call. Those are fought about constantly going and coming rules and whether it's compensable.
Now, what if you fall in the parking lot of your workplace on ice?
If you're required to park there and the employer has control of that area and has an obligation to scrape the sidewalks, and if you fall, yes, but there's a ton of litigation around that.
Is there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I knew there were some loopholes with Mother Nature when it comes to workers' comp. Anything else we should know?
Well, I mean, always talk to somebody. Assume that it's not. Don't assume that it's not, because it's a good chance that it is. It's a no-fault system. The injured worker is giving up a lot. I mean, if it was a personal injury case, you obtain pain and suffering, you would maybe be entitled to millions of dollars, you know. But it's designed to be a remedial statute to get the money to the injured worker quickly, and also to absolve the employer from huge damages so they can keep running these factories and shops.
Right.
A lot of rules.
Yes.
A lot of rules. Speaking of rules, I understand there is a 3-day rule. Can you explain that for our viewers?
Yes. If you're injured from work, you have to miss 3 days in a row, or you won't have a lost time injury. You would have a no lost time injury.
Oh.
The problem with the no lost time injury is that you're not entitled to weekly benefits, and the problem with that is that you would never get those weekly benefits, whether you work there again or not. Also, you may not settle the case as well. It could be a situation where you never were allowed to establish the time lost. As a young attorney, I had a case where a gentleman didn't miss the time. He was really, really injured. They called him back on the second day. He cleaned up around the break room, and then he had to have surgery. But they had already laid him off, even though they laid him off some able-bodied people. I thought it was contrived. They say, you know, it was above board. Anyway, I ran in trying to get him weekly benefits. I couldn't get it because he didn't miss time because of the injury.
Okay.
So, in my mind, some of the conservative doctors work with the employers and the insurers. What used to be a time when I first started, it would say take a week out. They don't do that anymore. They say go back to work, go back to work, go back to work.
Oh.
So there's a conflict between law, medicine, and really what's best for the injured worker. So
Right.
you have to watch that.
Now, you mentioned pain and suffering. I want to go back to that, because how does one determine an amount of money for pain and suffering?
Well, you don't get pain and suffering in comp. That's probably the hardest thing in the world.
You don't?
No.
Oh.
It's a no-fault system.
Okay, okay.
It's a wage replacement scheme. That's what they say in the law books, right? To use the word scheme. System's a better term. And basically, you get a portion of your weekly benefits. You don't get the full amount. When you get injured, you miss the first 3 days of payment. Used to get it if you stayed out past 14 days, but they took that away from us. So you missed 3 days of pay just because you got injured. Now it's around 62% of gross. It was 30. It was a little lower than that. So you make just a small, probably 70 to 65% of your wage. And so you've got a pay cut because of the injured worker.
Oh.
So that was kind of a bummer. People who got hurt due to no fault of their own, the wisdom of the General Assembly said we wanted to take away the magnet for people getting hurt and make them hurt to get them to go back to work. I think that's kind of cruel and not really very nice, but that's what they've deemed to do. So.
Right.
Those are some of the ways, you know, to kind of skate around people who take advantage of the system, right?
Yeah, there's some of that, but I think there's far more fraud on the employer side than
Right.
there is on the employee side. I've had many employers that tell my injured worker not to report it as a work injury, say it happened at home,
Ooh.
say that I'll pay you, and then they can't find them. 2 weeks later, they get no funding. They make up. They go with them to the emergency room. They make misstatements about the injury. Very conservative doctors seem to work with the employers, trying to push people back to work. They mischaracterize the types of workers they have. They call all laborers secretaries. They misclassify them to get a lower rate.
And this,
There's a lot of stuff going on.
And this is why it's so important to have an attorney, and this is why people need to call you.
Well, I'd
Absolutely.
like them to, but they need
Yes.
to call somebody
Yes.
because they're going to get taken advantage of.
Good information.
And a lot of times I don't
Right.
file right away.
Yeah.
What I do is I put a gray folder on the file, and
Yeah.
I get the medicals, accumulate things. I write
Yeah.
to the Department of Labor, see where they are, and then give them advice.
You know what's going on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again for joining us. And of course, for the very best in legal advice and representation, be sure to contact Stephen's office at 401-453-1355 or via his website, stephenjdennis.com.
Up next on Locally New England, we sit down with Stacy Johnson, Executive Director of Roger Williams Park Zoo, to preview all the great summer events they have scheduled. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Locally New England. We're so happy to have Stacy Johnson from Roger Williams Park Zoo to talk about all the great events that they have going on there at the zoo. Welcome.
Thank you. It's just great to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You have a beautiful macaw with you. Tell us about her. Oh, you want to talk? Yes.
This is Shochi. She's a military macaw.
Military.
So what does that mean?
So the reason they're called military macaws is when they were first described by naturalists in the early 1800s,
Yeah.
the Mexican army uniform was green and they had the red fuzzy hats at the time, right after the Napoleonic Wars, and they actually even had a turquoise colored vest on.
Oh, she didn't like that.
Seriously, Shochi.
So, I mean, she's so gorgeous. How old is she? And she lives at the zoo, obviously, right?
Yes, she does. She does live at the zoo. She was hatched in 1993,
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
so she's 30 years old.
30
And-
years old.
Okay, so I've got a peanut here.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. I'm going to change the plan. Let's
Yeah.
go ahead and put her on your wrist.
All right,
first.
so I go like this.
So there you go, just
Okay.
like that. All right. Cool.
All right, this
Let's
will
see
be
what we got here.
interesting here.
Don't
Come
try this
here.
at home.
I'm gonna let her
ladies and
step
gentlemen.
up. There we go. Good. All right. There you go.
Oh, don't look. Okay, don't go after my.
She's good.
I
Nope, she's
know
gonna
it.
behave. If you want to give her that peanut, you can just offer it to her.
Here, would you like it? Don't hurt me.
No, don't pull back. Let her get it.
Okay,
She
here.
wants to get it. That's all right.
Uh-oh.
She doesn't want it.
You don't want it? Why don't you want it?
She's gonna throw it on the floor.
Local
All right,
diva
all
right
right.
there.
Yeah,
So
a little bit.
here.
playing
Oh,
with
I
you. She's messing
tried.
with you
Here,
now.
I'll let you take.
All right, come on, Shochi.
Here, go back. But you've got so much fun stuff happening at the zoo.
We really do. This
Now
is a great summer.
we have dragons and mythical creatures. There's another event happening.
Yep, every day, Dragons and Mystical Creatures, the exhibit's open all day long when the zoo's open. It's open through August 11th.
Okay.
It's an added ticket to visit to the zoo, but it's a really cool idea that our interpretive team had to sort of blend the natural world with the imaginary world. The storyline is basically that when humans don't have an answer for natural phenomena or wildlife that they've seen, they tend to make up and fill in the gaps. And so
Are you trying to fill in a gap?
all of the creatures in the Dragons and Mythical Creatures show actually have a wild counterpart.
Okay.
And we have graphics in both places to explain. You can actually do a QR code, which is tech that
Oh my gosh.
I don't do well with the tech.
Yeah,
But
I
you can
don't
learn
know.
about it, and then you can also see the animals that they're corresponding out in the zoo. A lot of the species correspond directly.
Right. And
That's so cool.
So they're animatronic. How big are these?
Gosh, some of them are 12, 15 feet tall, so there's
Really?
some real size on them. Yeah.
Oh, that should
Yeah.
be cool.
And this sounds like something that's fun for all ages.
It really is. And this year we're sort of, kind of looking to a slightly older audience than we traditionally go for.
Mm-hmm.
So like the older elementary school, middle school, and of course the parents love it too. I've talked to a lot of grandparents who said, that was really neat. I didn't know you guys would do that. So
Will Shochi be performing as like a dragon or
what do you think, Chef?
in makeup? What are we
Are
doing?
you going to be a dragon? I don't think so. She won't be able to steal that scene. So,
Right.
I know. Are you getting camera shy? Or do you want to steal the show? Yeah?
Nope.
Oh, you want to steal the
You
show.
are so not climbing down on the couch.
This is so fun. But I love how you have that event. And then there's something fun for the adults too. And this one sounds especially interesting
Yeah.
to me. Brew at the Zoo.
Yeah.
Now that's an adult only event?
It is an adults only, a 21 and up event.
Okay.
170 different beers.
Wow.
We're gonna have so dozens of brewers. I guess this is actually the largest beer festival in New England. And it's been a zoo tradition for quite a while. We're really looking forward to bringing that again this year.
Now, are they going to be like food trucks and things like that? Or
That's
just-
kind of so there will be some food available, but these guys are going to be laid out throughout the zoo, similar to the way food trucks would be.
So they get to see the animals too.
Some of the animals will be
mixed
on
in?
exhibit throughout the evening. Not the entire zoo, but a good chunk of it will be.
Yeah.
very
And this
cool.
is Rhode Island's largest outdoor beer festival.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. a lot of fun.
what can people look forward to? Maybe beers that they ordinarily can't get around here?
I think there are actually some specialty brews that will only be available at Brew at the Zoo or from the brewers themselves later, as well as just a real wide spectrum of tastes and different brewers and different locales from all over New England.
Sounds like so much fun.
I'll
Yeah.
definitely be there.
I know, we'll have to do a cheers.
Do a little testing.
Yeah, we'll do testing. That could be work.
Yes.
I think that's
me up.
like a lot of fun there. And then other animals. What are some other highlight animals that we can expect to see there?
Gosh, so we're actually working on some new exhibits this year. We just reopened a brand new red panda habitat,
Oh,
which is wonderful. So red pandas are from the Himalayan highland, the lowlands of the Himalayas from Nepal. They don't like warm weather. So if it's above 80 degrees, red pandas don't do very well.
okay.
So traditionally, even though this is our zoo mascot a good bit of the time, they're only visible to the guests, or historically only been visible to the guests during the winter months. Now they've got an indoor habitat that's air conditioned, so we have them out all year round. Everybody can enjoy visiting with the red pandas year round. We have a new spotted African cat called the serval that's going to be coming online in the next few weeks. So that's pretty exciting, and that's right at the entrance to the zoo.
Oh, so all kinds of reasons for people to come out.
Yeah, a
and
lot
check out
of
the
good stuff
animals.
going on at the zoo this summer.
Fun events. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for asking.
Yes, Sochi. Ooh, I think Sochi said thank you. Up next on Locally New England, we travel to Chariho Furniture to learn about their business and their beautifully crafted American furnishings. Welcome back. Made in America is a term used by many businesses, but at Chariho Furniture, it has been the way they do business since 1987.
We took our cameras there to take a look at their great inventory of crafted American-made home furnishings.
Chariho Furniture started in 1987. I was 22 years old. I had just gotten married, had $3,000 from my wedding, and the company I was working for, which was a furniture retailer, went bankrupt, and I decided I would try opening a furniture store with $3,000 and what little I knew about the furniture industry. Within about 5 to 10 years of being in business, I decided that I really wanted to go to be the 100% American-made furniture store. And a lot of stores do talk about that they sell some American-made, but we're not aware of any other store that's 25,000 square feet that every single piece of furniture that they sell is crafted in America, customizable.
I think what sets us apart, other than the fact that we're family-oriented, family-owned, we have really cool brands that we carry.
We work with about 100 vendors, 35 or so Amish workshops.
We have 6 sales staff on the floor. A lot of them have gone to college for interior design, and they are passionate about creating what you're looking for. If you say, I'm looking for a living room, but it has to have bright yellow, bright orange, they will do whatever you're looking for. They'll go into the home if they're not working with a designer, and we can make up floor plans, pick furniture for what they're looking for, whether that's just a bedroom or an entire home.
The customer can come in and draw something on a napkin, and we could have that built for them. So they choose the style, they choose the wood species, they choose the finish, they choose the hardware. If it's upholstery, they can many times change the arm, the back, obviously the fabric, the finish on the legs, the nail head trim. So a lot of times when we sell something, it truly is the only time that same piece of furniture will be made.
I think other than being customizable, solid wood, American-made, family-oriented, everyone thinks of us as primitive and country, and we do still have that. That's how we started, but now we have mid-century modern, contemporary, all different styles, everything for everyone. And I think that's the difference. I think everyone here wants to create that for our clients. They don't, you're not coming in, oh, I want a sofa and, here's beige, beige, or beige.
People usually come in here and say, wow, I had no idea the selection you have. And we show 75 living room sets, over 50 dining room sets. So we do have a very good selection for you to choose from. I love one-of-a-kind pieces. We advertise that you come in here and you absolutely are going to see things that you did not and will not see at other furniture stores. It's like selling art as opposed to furniture. It's something somebody falls in love with. They have to have that one. There are a lot of things to see here and then customize it to your liking from there.
Well, Joe, we've come to the end of another episode of Locally New England, and this was a fun one. I gotta get out to the zoo. You know I love the animals.
Oh yeah, and I'm excited for the next one. So stay tuned for the next time for the people, the places, and the stories that are locally New England.
Locally New England is brought to you by Chariho Furniture, beautifully crafted American-made home furnishings. First Hyundai, North Attleboro. Save every day at First Hyundai. And Sump Pump Geeks. We service all brands.